Yes, hi everyone. Welcome back to Power Systems 2 subject, that is Power Transmission System Design. And today's our topic is calculation of resistance for solid conductor. Calculation of resistance for solid conductor. And before going to this topic, let me introduce what is resistance. Already we know that, already we have studied from intermediate itself about the resistance, but now it is my duty to introduce what is resistance. Just tell me, what do you mean by resistance? Do you have any idea? Of course. Ah, resistor. Resistor in the sense? Yes, which is called the resistor? Yes, as per the statistics, as per the records, so they says that every material offers some amount of resistance. Every material offers some amount of resistance. So therefore every material itself is the resistor, because our body is also one resistor. This wood is also resistor, iron is also resistor, copper is also resistor, aluminum is also resistor, silver is also resistor, because they offer some amount of resistance. So now, what do you mean by resistance? Yes, what is resistance? Resistance in the sense, it is the property of resistor. Yeah, what is the property of resistor? There are four properties are there. Those are, the first one is, whenever the current is flowing through the resistor, that current will be opposed by the element. That is due to the property of resistor. That is, the flow of current is opposed by resistor. This is one property. And second one is, whenever the current is passing through the element, then some amount of voltage is drop in the element. That is also due to the property of resistor. Next, third one is, due to the resistance, it will absorb some amount of power. That is, the power is absorbed by the resistor. This is the third property. And fourth property is, the resistor will dissipate electrical energy into the form of heat. So hence we can also treat resistor is electrothermal converter. Why it is electrothermal converter? Because it is taking electrical energy and it is converting that electrical energy to the thermal, that is heat. So therefore it is called electrothermal converter. Therefore it is called electrothermal converter. So let me revise once again. So what are the properties of resistor? The first one is, it drops the voltage, it opposes the flow of current, it absorbs the electric power, and it dissipates electrical energy. It dissipates electrical energy. So this is the resistor. Now, what do you mean by solid conductor? Yes, what is solid conductor? Yes, in our previous discussion, we already discussed about the solid conductor. Solid conductor in the sense, single wire conductor. Single wire conductor is called solid conductor. Therefore, how we can find out the resistance of the single wire? How we can find the resistance of the single wire? And what is the importance to find out the resistance for the solid wire? Suppose transmission line is there. What is the necessity to find out the resistance of the transmission line? Yes, what is the necessity? Any one of you? Yes, what is the necessity? Yes, what is necessity in the sense, if I know the value of resistance, then I can able to expect how much current drawn by the transmission line. Yeah, this is very, very important. How much current drawn by the transmission line? That is, the current drawn by the transmission line, the current transmit through the transmission line, that is totally depending on the resistance of the wire or resistance of the transmission line. The resistance of the transmission line. So hence it is required to find out the resistance of the transmission line. Okay. Yeah, so here we can observe this. The solid conductors are constructed of one single piece of metal. It is tougher than a stranded conductor but rigid and less flexible than the stranded conductor. The solid conductors are more likely to break if subjected to frequent flexing than stranded conductors. The stranded conductors are made up of multiple small strands. As already we discussed, this stranded conductor in the sense the bunch of wires, or the conductor, so which is arounds, so strands will be there, many layers will be there. The each layer may contains different number of conductors or different number of wires or different number of strands. And how the each layer strands are connected? If one layer strands are twisted in clockwise direction, then the other layer strands will be twisted in the anti-clockwise direction. That is, the from layer to layer the strands will be twisted in opposite direction. If we do like this, then the flexibility of the conductor is increased. So hence, in the case of stranded conductor, so the flexibility is more. But whereas in the case of solid conductor, the flexibility is less. And the tensile strength of solid conductor is more, but tensile strength of stranded conductor is less. So here we can increase the tensile strength of solid conductor, that is the stranded conductor, by means of the strands. Yeah, so already we discussed this. Resistance of conductor tells us how easily a conductor allows the flow of current through it. Yes, higher the resistance, lesser the current will flow through the conductor. Yes, we know this one. The resistance of conductor is influenced by the conductor dimension and construction conditions like temperature and resistivity. It is normally expressed as ohms per kilometer. That is the resistance of transmission line. So which is to be considered as the distribution parameter, distribution parameter or distribution element of electric network, or resistance per kilometer, inductance per kilometer, capacitance per kilometer. So therefore here also, so we used to express the value of resistance in terms of ohms per kilometer. Yes. Now how we can find out the resistance of the transmission line? And we know that the resistance of transmission line conductor is the most important cause of power loss in a transmission line. Yeah, in the transmission line, due to the resistance, we have the power loss. Yes, what is the power loss in the transmission line? The power loss in the transmission line is I square R. If R is more, then power loss is also more. If R is less, then power loss is also less. So hence what we can do to decrease the power loss? So we can decrease the resistance of the material. Is it possible? Yes, is it possible? Yes, can we decrease the resistance of the transmission line? Can we decrease the resistance of the transmission line? No, we cannot decrease, because that resistance per kilometer is fixed. But we can reduce the transmission line in other way. Transmission line power loss in other way. So how we can reduce the power loss? So here we know that power loss equation is given by I square R. Power loss equation in transmission line is given by I square R, where R is constant and I is to be varied. Now how we can change the I? Can we change the I? Yes. How? In the sense, in the transmission line, suppose this is the transmission line, the power between after the power plant and before the distribution line, so that is the constant. So here how much power is there? the same amount of power we can expect here. That is, entire the transmission system, the power is constant. We assume like this. Entire the transmission line, the power is constant. When the power is constant, what is equation for power? P is equal to VI. P is equal to VI. If I increase the voltage, suppose P is equal to 2 megawatts. P is equal to 2 megawatts. Suppose if V is equal to 2 megavolts, let us assume V is equal to 2 megavolts, then what is I? I is equal to 1 ampere on. That means what we are doing here? We decrease the total amount of current in the transmission line. When we decrease the current in the transmission line, obviously the power loss in the transmission line is decreased. Power loss in the transmission line is decreased. And we know that the resistance of the transmission line is depending on the length of the transmission line and the area of cross section of transmission line and resistivity of transmission line. Resistivity indicates rho. If rho is equal to 0, that is, when rho is equal to 0, then what is R? R is equal to 0. When R is equal to 0, then the conducting material is called perfect conductor. Perfect conductor. Perfect conductor. If suppose when rho is equal to infinity, then what is resistance? R is equal to infinity. R is equal to infinity in the sense, then that material is called perfect insulator. That material is called perfect insulator. And moreover here, rho is resistivity and sigma is, rho is resistivity and sigma is conductivity. And rho and sigma both are inverse parameter. So hence the conductivity of the material is equal to 1 by rho. Conductivity of the material is equal to 1 by resistivity. If rho is equal to, when rho is equal to 0, then sigma is equal to infinity. When rho is equal to infinity, then sigma is equal to 0. So like this, these two are inverse parameters. These two are inverse parameters. Okay. The variation of resistance of metallic conductors with temperature is practically linear over normal range of operation. Suppose R1, R2 are resistance of the conductor at T1 degree centigrade and T2 degree centigrade. Let us assume T2 is greater than T1 respectively. And let us assume the alpha 1 is the temperature coefficient of the same material at T1 degree centigrade. Then we can write, that is R2 is equal to R1 into 1 plus alpha 1 into T2 minus T1. Now what is alpha 1 here? We know that alpha 1 is equal to alpha naught divided by 1 plus alpha naught into T1. 1 plus alpha naught into T1 where alpha naught is temperature coefficient at 0 degrees centigrade. Now what is alpha? Alpha is the temperature coefficient. Now how the temperature coefficient? The temperature coefficient of the material may be positive, may be negative, or may be 0. So in which case the temperature coefficient is positive? If suppose when the temperature increases, then resistance also increase, then in such case the temperature coefficient is positive. In such case the temperature coefficient is positive. Can you give the example for such case? That is, when temperature increases, the resistance also increase. then alpha is positive. Can you give the example for such kind of material? Yeah, the best example are pure metals. Pure metals. Yes, what are the pure metals? We know that the pure metals are, so now whatever the metals we are using right now, those are silver, copper, aluminum. Silver, copper, aluminum. Which conductivity is more? Silver conductivity G1, copper conductivity G2, aluminum conductivity G3. Now what is the relation between G1, G2, G3? That is G1 is greater than G2 and it is greater than G3. That is, the silver conductivity is more than copper and copper conductivity is more than aluminum. So let me repeat the same statement in the view of resistance. That is, the resistance of the aluminum is greater than copper. The resistance of copper is greater than silver. Yes, do you got this point? The resistance of aluminum is greater than copper. The resistance of copper is greater than silver. The resistance of copper is greater than silver. But in transmission line, which type of material we are using? Tell me. In transmission line, which type of material we are using? Aluminum. Yes, because less weight, low cost, and we can strand the aluminum, therefore the flexibility is increased. Okay. Now, so that is alpha naught is equal temperature coefficient at 0 degrees. So when alpha is equal to negative, that is alpha is negative, when temperature is increased, the resistance is decreased. When temperature is increased, the resistance is decreased. In such case, the value of alpha is negative. Can you give the example for such kind of materials? That is semiconductors, insulators, dielectrics, all these types of materials comes under the negative temperature coefficient material. Then in which case the temperature coefficient is 0. Temperature coefficient is 0 in the sense, even though the temperature is increased, the resistance also increased, but the change in resistance is negligible. The change in resistance is negligible, that is equal to 0. So in such case, the value of alpha is equal to 0. Suppose for example, the temperature of the material is increased from 20 degrees centigrade to the 200 degrees centigrade, or from 20 degrees centigrade to the 1000 degrees centigrade. Then if the resistance of the material is changed from 200 ohms to 201 ohms, then we used to say that material is zero temperature coefficient material. Yes, that material is zero temperature coefficient material. Okay. So that is the temperature coefficient, and what are the various types of temperature coefficient materials about that. Okay, the temperature coefficient will affect the value of resistance when it is subjected to the temperature variations. When it is subjected to temperature variation. Can you give the example for zero temperature coefficient? Alloys, all alloys, that is the mixture of two or more number of materials. So do you know, so which kind of material is used to fabricate the fuse in our domestic purpose, in our houses? Which type of material used to design the fuse? Generally, whenever the fuse is breakdown in our houses, then what we do? We call the electrician. The electrician will come, and immediately what he do? So he will cut one silk wire. So then he will take some leads of the copper and he used to replace that fuse with this leads. Then we may have the power. But what is the drawback? We should not use that. We must use the alloy because the alloy is zero temperature coefficient material. Because the alloy is zero temperature coefficient material. So in such case, so we prefer the alloy only. We prefer alloy. So which type of material is used for the fuse? Lead tin mixture. Lead tin mixture. Lead tin alloy you will use. So we should not use the copper because the copper is positive temperature coefficient material. That means when temperature is increased, how temperature is increased in the fuse of the house? In the fuse of the house, continuously the current is flowing through the fuse. Whenever the current is passing, then some amount of temperature is built up. Whenever the temperature is increased, the resistance of the copper is decreased. When resistance of the copper is decreased, so then what happened? The current carrying capacity of copper is increased. So which causes to break down the fuse. Hence what we do? We should use the alloy in the play for the fuse. Okay, next, in a single phase or two wire DC line, the total resistance, so which is also known as loop resistance, is equal to double the resistance of either conductor. Double the resistance of either conductor. That means if suppose I have the two wires are there. Two wires. This is one wire and this is another wire. So just it is enough to find the resistance of the single wire. Then if suppose this is R, then I used to say the resistance of the total system is 2R. Resistance of the total system is 2R. And the next one is, in the case of the three-phase transmission line, the resistance per phase is the resistance of one conductor. The resistance of the total system is 3 times of the resistance of one conductor. Okay. Yeah. So here I want to give one problem to you. Yes, what is that in the sense? For example, the copper is there. The copper is one material. Yes, copper is there. For such copper, the temperature coefficient at 0 degree centigrade is, let me assume 0.005 per degree centigrade. The temperature coefficient of copper at 0 degree centigrade. That means here this value is alpha naught is equal to 0.005 per degree centigrade. And we assume that the resistance of the copper at 0 degree centigrade is 50 ohms. Resistance of copper at 0 degree centigrade is 50 ohms. So let it be, this is R naught. That is R naught. Now my question is, how much resistance offered by the copper when temperature is increased to the 200 degree centigrade? Let's regard this point. How much resistance offered by the copper when temperature is increased? Temperature is equal to 200 degrees centigrade. How we find this value? Yes, he has given three values. What are the three values? The first one is the temperature coefficient of the copper transmission line at 0 degree centigrade is alpha naught is equal to 0.005 per degree centigrade, and the resistance of the copper at 0 degree centigrade is 50 ohms. Then if the temperature is increased to the 200 degree centigrade, then what is the value of resistance? What is the value of resistance of the copper? And here which formula we can use? Which formula we can use? We can use RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha naught into T. RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha naught into T. So now you substitute the values and find out what is RT. RT in the sense R200 is equal to 50 into 1 plus 0.005 into 200. Now what is this value? That's probably we may get 50 into 1 plus 0.005 into 200 is 1. It is 100 ohms. That is 100 ohms. Okay, I hope you got this. In the next class, so we will see some more about that is how we can calculate the inductance of the transmission line. Yes, this is some lengthy topic, so if possible we will take 3 to 4 classes, or 3 to 4 sessions to complete the calculation of inductance of transmission line. And moreover, this is today's topic is over, that is calculation of resistance for solid conductors. Okay, thank you. Stay home, stay safe. Take care.